Happy Saturday. It is time for Let's Set the Vibe. I do this on Saturdays where I try to create a vibe using a scent, a beverage, and then a makeup look. It's a different vibe every week, a different beverage every week, a different scent every week, and a different makeup look every week. This week is the vibe is going to be winners. I will be doing a makeup look that is fitting for the day. I mean, it is the day early, but with a big game being played tomorrow, my vibe is Seahawks win. That's the vibe today. Since my beverages are always non-alcoholic, I'm going to be drinking Hopwater today. A beverage company that was started by two guys that are friends with each other. They said they were working crazy hours trying to adult and still have fun. They craved a beer after a long day, but knew that they couldn't keep up if they had to deal with hangovers or feeling way down. So what could they crack open on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday that was refreshing and help them unwind? And the answer was Hopwater. It's a beverage that they invented. It's sparkling water along with hops and then flavor. I am having mango today. Anything in mango is something I enjoy. And then I was surprised that I like Hopwater because I don't actually like hoppy beer, but it doesn't taste particularly hoppy to me. And but the hops do kind of lead to some relaxation, which I get from beer. Just kind of helps me let go of the stress and be relaxed. It also can, if you're going to be enjoying a game with friends, something that just helps you like forget about all the other stuff that's going on and just enjoy the day. So that is why I chose it for the vibe today. It really smells like mangoes, which is so pleasant. And then I love the bubbles. Yes, very refreshing, light and crisp. Nice for the day. For the scent today, I'm going back in time, and we're going to go with Elle by Gwen Stefani. And Frangetica describes this scent as, says Elle by Gwen Stefani is a floral aquatic fragrance for women. The nose behind this fragrance is Fermenich. I don't know if that's a person or a company. Top notes are pear, freesia, water hyacinth, and violet leaf. Middle notes are lily of the valley, sweet pea, rose, orange blossom, and jasmine. Base notes are peach, frangipani, musk, and heliotrope. So a bunch of notes. I chose this today because I feel like Elle smells like fun. And there's nothing much more fun than watching your team win against the Patriots. So I'm not great at identifying notes or describing things. I know what I like. To me, this smells youthful. It smells fun. It is very floral, but it's those kind of like bright and happy florals, not white, feminine, super girly florals. And you also notice the fruit notes too that kind of make it sparkling, which also leads to that fun vibe to it. All right, so now we smell good, got a fun beverage, time for makeup. I've already done skin prep, which was just some moisturizer as well as SPF. Even in the winter, I always wear my SPF. And then as my foundation today, I'm going to use the MAC Studio Radiance, and I'm shade N11. I like this foundation because it does have radiance to it, but it's not glittery or overly dewy. It sets down. It's a fantastic shade match for me. It's kind of a medium coverage, so it provides more coverage than the skin tints that I wear, but isn't chalky, isn't drying. I feel like it just helps me look kind of perfected and like I have good skin. Not that my skin is bad, but like everybody else, I have large pores in places. I have dry spots. I have places I get oily, and then I have my redness. So anything that can calm down the redness without looking cakey or heavy, I'm going to enjoy. Also for reference, I am very fair, clearly, and I lean neutral, not really warm, not really cool. My skin is combination. It used to be very oily, but as I've gotten older, it's not really oily anymore. And in the winter, I do get dryness, especially on my cheeks and up here on my forehead, around my nose. I have allergies, so I'm always sniffling and wiping my nose, and so that dries out the area right around it. But you can see there is some luminosity there, but nothing overwhelming. It's really more of just hydrated, healthy skin look. I am going to be doing a pretty dramatic eye look today. So I want the rest of my face to be fairly non-committal, with eyes being that big, that dramatic, which is not something I usually do. I'm going to kind of pull back on the other things. But I do want a pretty clean canvas, so I am going to use some concealer. Today, I'm using the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer. This is new, so I haven't really gotten to know it yet. I'm hoping it's not a mistake to use it today, but when I have used it, it doesn't crease really at all, so I'm hoping that that is the result today. And I have shade 2. I kind of wonder if I shouldn't have gotten shade 1, but it seemed really light. And I used shade 2 in their skin tint, so I thought we would go this route. But it's not going to really be brightening. Hopefully just cover some of that redness and circles. We don't even really have to think about much, that there is concealer today. That's how I like my concealer. I put it on and I forget about it. Okay, I think we got that done. Clean canvas. I do want to have a little bit of definition, so I am going to quickly do some contour. I'm going to use the Haus Labs in their lightest neutral shade, which is Chisel. This is one I use fairly often. So let's wash me out a little bit more. But I think later it will be good that I turn that on. As always, I am filming. I mean, I have artificial light, but I am also facing a window. So it's natural light that's augmented with artificial light. I don't use any filters. So you get the good, the bad, and the ugly with these videos. This is me. Not trying to hide who I am or look like somebody different, just having fun being me. I think that's blended in fairly well. Now I am going to do the eyes next, because if there's any fallout, I want to be able to clean that up and then do the rest of the makeup after that. Plus, it's not going to take long because everything's going to be fairly simple. Okay, so the Seahawks colors are silver, green, and blue. So I get to use some eyeshadows that I don't use very often. For my blue, I'm going to be using the Pat McGrath Mothership palette #1, which I think is Subliminal. And I'm going to use the blue shade right there. And then for my green, I'm going to be using, I don't exactly know how I'm going to put these together yet, but 3 greenish shadows that I have from Clionadh, which is a small brand that does multi-chromes. I love multi-chromes, but they just don't fit in my life most of the time. So first I have Iron Gate, which is a Earth Vibrant multi-chrome. They have a bunch of different categories. These are all in the stained glass collection. But this first one here, depending on the light, it can look very different color, but it has some lime reflect in it. So this is probably going to end up going on top of the green to give that kind of bright limey color. And then my primary green is going to be this one called Viridian, and it's in their deep iridescent multi-chrome category. It's just green with reflective other colors. And then I might do a little bit of Keystone, which is in their pastel multi-chrome collection. It is a green with blue in it, more blue, so it might work well as kind of a transition from the blue to the green. So we're going to start with the blue. Oh, and that color in the blue, in the Subliminal palette is Blitz Blue. Again, this is Mothership 1. I don't know what's going on with Pat McGrath. It's like they were for sale, and then I think they're filing bankruptcy. But I think if they are filing bankruptcy, that will mean that it is the same company that's reorganizing instead of selling off the company. I was kind of wondering what Pat McGrath would be like without Pat McGrath. Because she's such a visionary. And her eyeshadow formulas, nothing else compares. They're unlike anything else and just fantastic. Okay. So the idea is that I'm going to do blue in the center and on the outer corner, and then do green on, no, I'm going to do blue in the inner corner and outer corner and leave the center as green. We'll see how this goes. I will probably be zooming you through some of this because it's just going to take a while, and I'm going to focus on putting on the eyeshadow. So I will try not to talk too much so that I can zoom it, so that you don't have to spend ages watching me put on my eye look. Gotta trust the process. Getting there, but makes sense to do all the blue and then switch colors. This brush, it's just a Bobbi Brown flat brush. It's for cream shadow, but it works really well with shimmer or glitter. But it works better on the blue than it does on the green. So the green, I'm going to start with this, but then I'll probably use my finger. All right. Okay. So to define that a little bit more, I'm going to just use a black pencil, and then I'm going to go over that with a liquid liner in black. I've got the YSL Lines Liberated Waterproof Eye Pencil in black. I think this is shade 1, but it's the black shade. I like it that it has this little brush on the end of it. I also like that it's waterproof. And it's super creamy and goes on very easily. And you can see the difference with just a little bit of black eyeliner between this eye and this eye. All right. Add a little bit of black mascara. I'm using the same mascara I always use, the Thrive Tubing Mascara. I like it because it doesn't flake. It doesn't get in my eyes. It doesn't leave black marks on my hooded eyelids. So perfect for a party where I might be sweating, there might be water guns, you never know what's going to happen. Okay, do need some brow definition. Again, don't want anything, not a lot, because we already got a lot going on. So I'm just going to use some brow mascara. This is the Sculpting Brow Tint from MAC Beauty. I think it's in Taupe or Dark Blonde, something like that. I know that's a look some people really enjoy, of not having eyebrows, but I prefer myself with them, and I have them. You just sometimes can't see them without a little help. Can't have totally blank rest of the face, so I'm going to use the Haus Labs Stick Blush Color Fuse Glossy Blush Balm, And this is in Glossy Rosette, which is a warm pink. It's the color here. To have better control over it, I always use a brush when applying these instead of putting them straight onto the face. Now I know this is going to look like a lot of blush, but it will make sense in a minute. Okay, super rosy, but that's because I want to use this is one of the Danessa Myricks, but this is one of the Lowlighters. So they come in different colors, and I think the point is to kind of like take down the color a little bit and add like an iridescent shine to it. You can see the iridescence. I thought that would help kind of bring in the multi-chrome of the eye look. And this is in shade Unbothered, which is the pink one. It will subdue this blush, but leave like a highlight, except she calls it a low light. Also blurs everything. Do you see there's that iridescence there? And then once from rubbing on my face goes down, this will subdue a little bit. Just need to deal with lips. Okay, so I want to do kind of a neutral lip. I'm going to use one of my Rhode Peptide Lip Shape in shade Lift. So the Rhode Peptide Lip Shape. Lift is kind of a neutral pink, beige color. I like the effect that these have in that it's almost more of a lip contour than a lip liner. I do wish that it lasted longer though. They just fade right away, and even though the color is fairly light and neutral, I'm not going to want to apply it without a mirror. So I can't just easily reapply it throughout the day unless I happen to be in front of a mirror or have a mirror with me. So that's a little annoying. And then I'm going to go with a glossy lip today. I've got the Laura Mercier gloss called Lip Glace, and this is in shade Rose, which is just a really pale pink. So it's more of like almost like a nothing lip, just shiny, healthy looking, but we've got enough color, don't need more distraction. And this is something that is light enough and comfortable enough that I can put it on without necessarily having a mirror, which is nice. So I'll take this with me so that I can reapply. I won't take the liner with me, but I do like that effect that the two together give. This gloss I think is really underrated. It's not sticky. It doesn't dry out my lips. I find that there are a lot of glosses that look super glossy and feel great when they're on, but then as they fade away, my lips feel dried out. This doesn't do that. They feel more moisturized when it's gone than they did before I put it on. And it feels really comfortable while it's on. It doesn't really lock in. It's not overly slick. It's not sticky. It's just hydrating, very flattering, lasts pretty well, and easy to put on. So all good things. I think that completes the look for the day. I'm leaving my hair up in a ponytail, sporty. But we'll brush out my bangs, put my glasses back on so that I can see. And now I am ready to help the team win. Happy Saturday.